Alright, so basically the question is whether or not Umain's emo. Alright, I don't
Mm-hmm.
think he is, I think he's just stressed. So here's how the story goes. Uh, remember last year he was asking me to do all them homework assignments and all that?
Yeah, like geometry and shit.
Yeah, geometry, history, I think English, I did English for him once. So, my old 2022 version of me would have been like, all right, I'm gonna help you out. All right, I'm gonna do some of this work for you, and that's basically what I was doing. And then New
Yeah.
Year's resolution, and I gave him a heads up ahead of time before, way before. I think probably more than a month. I want to say 2 months, or maybe even back in October of 2022. I told him that, hey, I'm gonna help you out to get you all set up. And remember, we were set. He was in a decent place at the end of 2022 of his grades. Remember, he had a few A's, a few B's. I think he had maybe like one or two F's that eventually became like C's or D's.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. But now, like right now, it's like downfall.
at least it was at first. I would have to go in and check what his grades are now. So if you want, I can do that right quick.
If
So
I don't know, I don't care if you want or whatever.
well, I'll tell you what. Let me take a look right quick.
I can just look in the stream to see.
Well, yeah, I'm basically gonna read off what he has here. Uh, so I know what he's doing. So we kind of understand what his current situation is, and I'm gonna lead up to where he's at now. Uh, there it is. So I think he's taken like what, 6, 7, or 8 classes. I'm not sure exactly, and I can check his friend as well later. I don't know why it keeps jumping to his friend. There we go. All right, so we can see what he's doing. All right. So you said he had a, remember he told you earlier recently he had an F in geometry and English. So we'll see how bad it is, or maybe it's good. No, never know. I don't know. I have no clue how often he checks his grades now. I gave him so much advice before, like, hey, do this, do that. Clearly, I'm suspicious he ain't listening to me. So let's do his. We'll first check his attendance. All right, so he missed absent parent call. So he didn't go to school last Friday for whatever reason. Not sure why, so I'm gonna ask him about that. Otherwise, check his grades. So he's got a B in PE, which is not good because he's actually almost at a C. He's got an he's got an 11% in geometry, which tells me he's not doing the thing. He's got a 59% in English. So his English is not as bad as what I thought it was. He can actually get that to a D. I think it's above 60. He needs to get it a D, so he's close there. But geometry is at 11%, which tells me he's not doing the thing in geometry. And that you have to, yeah, basically not do a thing or try to
Yeah.
not do a
You,
thing to get 11% in geometry. Because what was he at? He's category weighting. I'm not sure what that is exactly, but he has basically. So let's go back to the beginning here. So January 20th is beginning semester.
wait, I'm fucking confused.
On what?
Go back to the grade book.
All right, I'm gonna go back to the grade book. All right, it's loading.
Hold on, let me refresh.
Oh, wait a sec. I'm on the attendance here. Let me go to his. All right, let me go back to his grade book. Okay, I'm at his grade book now.
Why is it still showing like you're still in the? Can you keep
There's a
refreshing?
delay. I'm not sure why. But you should see physical education, geometry, English. And check the stream on my end. Is it weird for you? Like, what is it showing?
Delay. Okay, now you're going to the grade book.
All right, there you go.
So, why does it say physical? I fucking kind of speak shit. First, physical education to first geometry, like first periods and shit.
I'm not sure how they do these one, two, three. I'm kind of wondering if it's like first period, second period, third, and fourth. Like if you,
That's what I'm confused.
I'm thinking I might be wrong though, but I suspect
My
that he
school, my
has.
grade book is not like the same as his.
No, mine was not like this either when I was in school. Mine's different, so I think it's a Virginia thing. Um, it looks like to be it's a Virginia thing, but I'm thinking he has like an 8A B day schedule, and this is like 8 A's he's got PE, B days he's got geometry or something like that.
Go to class schedule.
Let's see, where's this? I saw there you go. Class schedule. Oh, let me go back, not attendance. I'm gonna go back to class schedule. If it'll let me. There we go. Class schedule. I got his home. I got his room number. I got his teacher's email. In semester 2, period 11222334, which tells me that this is 8A B day, 8A B day, 8A B day. That's what it tells me, and then fourth period doesn't change. I'm assuming this is what his format is. But this kid needs to step up. I'm really hoping they don't kick his butt out of the high school. They probably won't, but he's
Well, it
kind of.
depends, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say he could still pass. I think my high school they would have continued him.
Not because
With that no
well,
child left behind
there's a
rule.
thing. There's a thing called recovery. Nah, I can't even speak shit because I'm like chewing gum and shit. There's the thing called there's a thing called recovery class.
Yeah? What's that?
So you don't know what that shit is?
No, we didn't have no recovery when I was in high school.
What the fuck? I thought everybody knows that shit.
I think I know the premise of it. You go to this recovery to boost your grade. That's essentially what it is, or is it different? Like, how's yours set up?
It's like credit recovery classes. Are it's like only available for like students who have like previously like failed in a credit course, like a failed class, you know.
Oh yeah, his friend Eric has one of those. He failed in
Yeah,
Finnish, and so
yeah.
Eric had to take some kind of remedial class.
If you
Yes.
feel like yeah, like something like that.
Yeah, because high schools have changed since I've been in high school. When I was in high school and in school in general, we had a 7 point grade average or grade scale. Y'all have a 10 point. So it's like for me, 93 to 100 was an A. If you got 92, that's a B. And so on. Like if you had less than a 70, you basically failed. Y'all have it easier. Y'all can go down to 60 and still pass. For me, it has to be above a 70. You can't have less than a 70 when I was in school. So my school was a lot tougher. If I had your grading scale, I would have probably been to freaking Harvard. But that's whatever. But anyway, yeah, because I'm like way beyond that point now too. So yeah, his freaking geometry. How do you get 11% in geometry?
That's what I'm saying, the fuck.
Yeah, like I can get, you're having trouble in English and maybe you miss some assignments, something happens, you got a 59, like I can get that.
How many
Uh,
missing assignments in geometry?
Dude, oh my god, how bad do you think it's gonna be?
If it's like a 5 or 6 missing assignments, I swear to God.
So here's his status. You can see his thing. So January 20th,
You can send me.
first assignment, he got 100 on it. Okay.
No,
But,
how about screenshot? That would be better. How about screenshot? Because
alright, let me
the
try to
fucking delay
screenshot it.
has to.
Because either this kid's not showing up to class, or he freaking forgot
Oh,
to
he
take his
did change them.
geometry. Alright,
He did change them.
entire screen. There we go. Alright, you may get a more live version now. Alright,
Okay, I can see.
you can see. Okay, cool. Alright, there we go. So we start, it goes from bottom to top. Top's the newer assignments. So I'm reading
Yeah, the
from bottom.
top is newer and the low, and the bottom is like old and shit.
Right. So his semester started January 20th.
Uh huh.
First thing got 100. Okay. Then he's got one, two, three, four,
Oh my.
five definite missing assignments. Not graded, which I'm assuming this is also missing. So, well, and
Yeah.
regardless, it's missing because it's missing a grade, since it's not graded. So that's what, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight missing
Hey,
assignments. Then I don't know what happened here. This triangle similarity with postulates, whatever that is, he got a
got a low
42.
grade.
He basically failed and probably guessed on that. So after the
Right.
8, we got 9, 10, 11, 12,
11, 12,
13, 14,
13, 14,
15,
15,
17,
16,
and 18.
18. Damn. Scroll.
And then another 100. So it's like he only did 2 assignments this whole semester.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm like, that's what I'm thinking too.
What does he do in the class? Like be on this fucking phone? Or just sleep?
No, you have to literally do more than just sleep and be on your phone. You have to refuse to do work at that point. Which means he's either not there, he either skips the class, which
Ditch or skip, whatever he does.
or get kicked out of class. No, I feel like he doesn't show up to class.
He just skips like, nah, I'm not gonna go to that class. I'm gonna go to the bathrooms or some shit.
Yeah, because I know he hates the teacher. Uh, teacher made his geometry teacher made a comment that he thought was racist.
What is?
So remember during World Cup, anyway, he was watching World Cup on his phone, middle of class, because he's freaking in love with soccer.
Obviously.
Yeah,
Soccer. Saying
teacher was
soccer
like,
is life.
yeah, basically that's what his thing is. Um,
Mm-hmm.
how in the world he got that obsession is another question I have to figure out. Because I know people who loves this sport and then that's their hobby, but his
Yeah.
thing is a little toxic at this point.
How?
Anyway, because all the Hispanic, like as an example, all the Hispanics I know growing up in high school, even I don't know a single person who'd be watching the games in class. When I was in high school, the soccer fans or people who were quote unquote obsessed, which is not what Umain is. Umain's even worse. Uh, they freaking record the match on DVR, go home, do their homework, and after they do homework, go watch the match with their family. They're not no
Mm.
obsessed and oh man, I gotta drop everything and watch this live stream now in class, like what Umain's doing.
So he doesn't do work. He just like let's watching the World Cup on his phone.
Yeah, well, this was back during World Cup, so this is what December 2022. And this teacher made some comment that he said that Umain thought was racist, saying like, "Oh, y'all," he said, "soccer is a dumb sport. Why is it that I always see these kinds of kids watching soccer or something like along those lines? And Umain said, "Oh, he's racist," and I disagree with
I
that.
don't. I don't see how racist that shit is.
Well, Umain said it was racist.
How is it racist when somebody?
Well, that's what was in my head, but you can't at this point you can't argue what came out of his head at that point. But anyway, he doesn't like that teacher. Says the teacher is racist. Teacher looks like Benjamin Franklin or something. He came up with some kind of stupid name calling. Uh,
I don't,
basically,
no, seriously, I don't see how that shit is racist, bro.
I know that's what I was
Just
on.
because,
That's what my
just
opinion
because
was.
your teacher's saying like the soccer is a dumb sport and shit, like people watching that doesn't mean that shit's racist.
I know, but Umain with I suspect Umain is semi brainwashed or what I call conformed to think a certain way. Uh, but I don't have confirmation of that. I'm trying to understand what his thought process is. Um, so that's the thing. While English is going to be the other thing we're going to worry about too, because if I go back to his grade book, uh, but freaking geometry tells me he's not doing a thing, which means he's got to really just sit and freaking do geometry to at least get it to the freaking 60 level or 60%, so he gets a D. English, I suspect that he probably has something missing. I'm gonna check up on that because other than uh, I think other than geometry and English, he's decent on everything else. All right, let me look at
Mm,
his thing. He's got
yeah, but I don't see how that shit works.
yeah, his
Uh,
what's that?
I don't see how that shit is racist unless if that motherfucker says like, oh, it's always the Mexicans watching soccer. That's the racist right there, right?
Uh,
Yeah.
especially when you're a teacher and you
If his
see
teacher says something like, "Oh, it's always the Mexican,"
yeah, but I don't know. I'm thinking that he probably just want to overreact and stuff. Plus, this
yeah.
kid, I'm sure he doesn't sleep well. He's got to fix his sleep schedule and all that. Because when I was in school, I wasn't up at freaking midnight
He
talking
just
to people. The latest,
that's what I.
yeah, I would be in bed by
Oh
4.
yeah, that's what I did to my ex. I don't like. I just talk like late night, like a 1, 2, or 3 a.m., and I just went to bed
Right. But
and shit. You just like fall asleep on call.
yeah. So according to what I see here, your main the English is not bad. He's got one, two, three. He's got 300s. Well,
Hold
he's
on.
got 400s, but he's got 4 assignments that he did bad on. So he's got to retake assignments. Worst one being this literature term. So he's got to learn. He's got to basically pull out a dictionary, learn his terms. He can redo this test, and he's got like what? One test he got a 70. 70 is fine. He's got a 44. You there, Alex? All right, let's see where we at now. Alex. Yo, yo, Alex. Hmm. All right, so I want to start moving along here since Alex left. So he's got to take care of these 2 grades. Otherwise, everything else is fine. Doesn't have a D. He's got one C, but he can build that up to B. Yeah, because if he gets an 80, I think he can get a B in Spanish. Biology, he's got to probably put a lot of work in and get that into an A. But that geometry, though. See, I'm not even that too concerned about English. I feel like English you can redo an assignment or test or something, or maybe get more hundreds and on like future assignments and pull that up to a D. But that I'm concerned about that geometry, to be honest. So that's pretty much where he's at on his grades. Alright, I'm gonna stop streaming. Alex, what's going on with you, man? Your mic's muted. Alright.
I'm back.
Yeah, so his English is basically, to sum up his grades, I don't know how he's. How. That geometry, though. I don't think I've seen him do that bad in a very long time.
Laziness, I guess.
I don't know. Because even when I was lazy, I wouldn't let my
I
grade go that bad. So something's really.
my yo
Yeah, what was up? You said yours what?
my geometry class, we can't use phones in that shit because my teacher is like, well, like strict about phones.
Yeah.
If sees you being on your phone, she will take that shit away from you.
Right. See, in my opinion, because see, from what I understand, there's two different ways of teaching, and I think teachers are leaning more to like, I need you to memorize and know everything by heart. Uh, which is not what I do. Mine is more realistic. I want my people to learn, not by memorization, but memorization, I do understand the value of that, but I want them to know the real world application, which is basically you can use what I'm teaching you and apply it to real life. Because there's one thing to freaking memorize everything, but if you don't know how to use it when something comes up, like a different situation, see, then you miss out on that. Like, I only had one. Well, actually, occasionally I have math teachers that do open textbook, but I only have one teacher who allowed to use phones, and now he would be kind of suspicious if you're using YouTube every once in a while, but like he wouldn't, in general, he wouldn't mind you using your phone because he understood that you were essentially looking up and reading how to do the assignment, which is the same thing as reading in your textbook how to do something,
Yeah,
and then in essence learning what that material is then.
yeah, but searching up the answers,
Well, how? Yeah, I know that. But then again, I would even argue that when you're searching up the answers, you're still learning the concept behind it. So anyway, we understand. So I think Umain basically has got to handle geometry and then retake a freaking English test. That's it. So why he's freaking out? I understand him freaking out over geometry. English, because everything else is ABC, and then the one he's got one C that's at a 77.7, which to me means an 80, which is a B. So
yeah,
English, I could see him getting to a D, but geometry's going to put in a ton of work. So he basically needs to really dial down, freaking, if he can. I don't know, man, because he's got to talk to his parents too. Because I don't get why he's not trying to stay after school to learn geometry. Because that to get an 11%, that how bad, you know, based on what you saw, how what kinds of wrong have to happen for that to get an 11%. So yeah, I would be worried about geometry. Then the second point you said, besides grades, he said sports, right?
my mom is calling.
All right. Yeah, that sports situation. Technically, if he wants to, in my mind, since I wasn't ever really a sports guy, uh, essentially I don't see him really needing to have that. sport. Worst case scenario, because in theory, grades should come first. I think because he has this impression that soccer is going to be my career, but he doesn't know it. He doesn't have any career insight as to how he's going to achieve that, and I think that's an issue. So I might have to make this a part two, talking about sports and the relationship things. But in terms of grades, because he kind of summarizes into three issues being grades, sports, and then the relationship with his ex. So yeah, we're going to continue this on another part then.